It sets the child up for life. So when the child comes through the vaginal passage, I won't do the motion, the microbiome or the microbes in the vagina actually shape the child's microbiome themselves. So it gives them loads of immunity and it gives them loads of protection. This is showing that the vagina microbiome is being given mainstream attention because the BBC is a mainstream news site. But one massive glaring thing they always omit is
Sam and Kit Bowen-Russell, who really took skincare into their own hands.
Twin brothers from the UK who are taking the skincare industry by storm.
Sam is a nuclear astrophysicist, and Kit is a geophysicist and author.
A Notre Dame grad and his twin brother are looking to revolutionize skin health.
The two launched a 2-year intensive research study.
Two very smart guys who knew all about bad skin at a very early age.
That woman at the end was our mum, and really she's the face which launched 1,000 questions for us.
Three, two, one, we're live. Kit, there was another article in the BBC. One of they're becoming increasingly frequent on the BBC. And this one, you tell me what it was about, but we're going to dissect it and see the normal things that they miss out in the BBC. So what was this article about?
big article on the BBC was about the vaginal microbiome, saying how important it is for our overall health. Yeah, exactly. For anyone who's squeamish or under the age of 40, listen, put your hands in your ears. No, sorry, Sam, just to be clear, the BBC is the British Broadcasting Corporation. So in the UK, it's the national broadcasting thing where loads of TV, loads of articles are done and news. It used to be like our main source of news, but it's just fallen off a cliff now for reasons we won't go into at the moment. But yeah, there was a massive article which was saying how important the microbiome of the vagina is for our overall health. So the microbiome, Sam, what's the microbiome?
It is the ecosystem in and on us, made up of the trillions of little living things. Anyway, so we'll go into that in another episode. So, right, okay. So, I mean, the microbiome, they keep sort of, all the articles is, they keep doing these ones that they choose a new area and they say this could be integral. The mouth microbiome could be integral to your overall health. So it was just talking about that kind of side, was it?
Yeah, it was just saying how important your vagina is. Not yours. Yours is quite important, but I mean, I would say mine's more important. No, it was saying how important the vagina, not my vagina, the vagina is for overall health. So things like pregnancies. So they talked about stillbirths, I think, in the article, and also what they didn't mention really was actually it sets the child up for life. So when the child comes through the vaginal passage, I won't do the motion, but when the child comes through the passage, what happens is the microbiome or the microbes in the vagina actually shape the child's microbiome themselves. So it gives them loads of immunity and it gives them loads of protection.
Right. So it's not just good for your own health, but passing on to your children.
Yeah. So it's, yeah, exactly. It's for the host or the person themselves and the children as well. But the big picture is really, it's showing again that the microbiome obviously is, microbiome is becoming a bit like a buzzword at the moment. So everyone's becoming aware of how important it is, but people only ever talk about 90% of it or over is the gut, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, all of the talk is about the gut.
Yeah, and so the microbiome inside us. But yeah, what's happening recently is we're noticing a few other areas of where these microbes are in and on the human body are being given the airtime, a bit more airtime than normal. So we talked about the mouth before in the Maha statement, but now this is showing that the vagina microbiome is being given mainstream attention because the BBC is a mainstream news site. But there's one massive glaring thing which they always miss out, and they're very reluctant to give mainstream attention.
Yeah, I mean, that's always the case. And it seems to me, I can understand, say there's a small area, because say the brain's harder to study than other areas. in terms of the microbiome. I could understand if, there's less research done on that and there's less talk about it. But in terms of the skin, if you think about it, the skin being the largest organ in your body, and being the place that's most easily accessible, in terms of studying it, that's the reason. So where our area is the skin microbiome, that's where you've put yourself to the top of the world leading research on that. And the thing that we can never wrap our heads around is the fact that the people who are talking about the microbiome and how it is related to health, they always miss out the skin every time. And when they do talk about it, it's still less import than the other parts of the body. And it's for many reasons, I think. But anyway, but it's always...
Yeah, I totally agree. So one massive glaring thing they always omit is the skin compared to the gut, or now the microbiome of the vagina or the mouth. They always miss out the biggest organ of the body, the thing which comes into contact with everything in our environment first. You don't go around in the environment with your vagina coming into contact with the chemicals first, do you? Unless you're a real weirdo. But your skin is the thing which comes into contact with everything in our environment first. So why is that not being given more attention? I actually did a bit of research, and there's about 10 to 100 times more microbes on the skin as well because of the surface area than the vagina. So if there's such a big ecosystem which has a scale of 10 to 100 times the amount of microbes as we see in the vagina, why is that not being given more attention? But again, I can hypothesize all day. All I'm saying is that there seems to be this, it's not an orthodoxy. I would say it's more of a blind spot within this new coming area of the microbiome and how it helps our health.
Yeah,
no one talks about the skin.
Yeah, because people go, but many people don't talk about the microbiome, but they do. I mean, every single thing about probiotics and everything is all about the microbiome, but internally. So everyone knows now you've all got these new drinks like soda, as they call it here in America, like canned drinks, promoted for being microbiome healthy and good for the gut, and having pre and probiotics and blah blah, all of that. So that's in people's mind. They're starting to see how important the microbiome is for their health. But like we say, when we go to people who talk about how important the microbiome is to health, they do have a blind spot about the skin. And the point is about this blind spot about the skin, which I want you to tell me about too from all of our research, is I find it, one, because it's the largest, two, because it's it's the first line of defense, it's on our outside, and three, how many things in your latest research, our latest research, it's been linked to in terms of diseases. So it seems the area that should be studied the most, in my eyes.
Exactly, yeah, I agree with that. And again, there's two things. There's one, the lack of attention, mainstream attention, which the skin gets, or the ecosystem on the skin. But then also there's the lack of understanding that the skin is linked to the rest of the whole body. Those are the two big blind spots which everyone has. And as you say, is the right word like a hegemony? You know, when they talk about like an orthodoxy or a hegemony, where they, even within this new alternative science of supposedly alternative health nowadays, where they talk about the microbiome, this seems to becoming an orthodoxy almost set up where you actually disregard and you forget about the skin. Is that right?
Well, I don't know about the word. Again, talking like we said in another one, talking like we're explaining to a 6-year-old. I'm not sure a hegemony would go down well there, but
that's true. Sorry,
no,
I know, but I was hoping that you would explain the word hegemony. Anyway, yes, it becomes these.
I can't remember exactly what it is, but it does conjure up images of having a sort of monopolistic status quo. But
yeah, but that to me that sounds. If you said that to a 6-year-old, they would just turn and play with their Hot Wheels, wouldn't they? A monopolistic status quo.
Well, exactly. That's what I'm saying. I don't know the meaning of hegemony. Well, like Einstein said, if you can't explain it in 6-year-old terms, you don't know. I don't know the meaning of hegemony, so I can't explain it.
Okay, I'll explain it. I always think within anything or any line of thought, sometimes there becomes an idea which is the accepted and the acceptable idea. So that's okay. But anything which goes against this idea sometimes is seen as quackery or rubbish just because it's an alternative line of thought. So that's what I would say is happening here. We've got this line of thought which shows that the microbiome in the gut is amazing for your whole body health. And now things like the mouth and the vagina, I just pointed to my vagina for context, but the skin is left out. That's all I would say. So there's those two things, those two big problems in the way everyone sees things. And it's mad to me because the skin is the first thing everyone sees when they look at someone. It's the first part of the body we see, isn't it?
Well, yeah, and so let's be clear, because our research started on the fact of the skin microbiome being vital and the key in skin problems. So this massive explosion in skin problems, which we talk about every time, this skin allergy epidemic, we talked about how the skin microbiome, the breakdown of that is now being linked through our research to causing this skin allergy epidemic. So we started off with just the skin problems, but then we realized, and that's why we are published into the Washington Post and everything, is that the skin microbiome itself doesn't just stay local to the skin. It doesn't just mean or shape our skin diseases or not. It is so vital for all of our whole body health too. That's what the most important factor is. And I think for the people, I think for me anyway, the people who talk about the skin, the microbiome in general, but then they miss out the skin, that is, in terms of academically, professionally, that's a massive oversight.
I agree, yeah. So you get all these people sagely talking about how everything is linked in the body, but they always forget the skin, which is the largest organ, as we keep saying, and also the first thing which comes into contact with anything in our environment. So, I mean, unless people go around exposing their gut to the environment first, which no one does because it's inside you, or their vagina to the environment, which no one does because, again, it's covered up and it's inside you. Yeah, to me, it's baffling. But there's loads of reasons why, but we need to wrap up there, Sam.
Brilliant. Right, well, you do the 20-second outro. 20 seconds sum up of everything here, really.
New mainstream article by the BBC on how the microbes in your vagina and my vagina are crucial for our overall health. Just shows how little people understand about the skin. And it shows that the skin needs to be at the forefront of all of these questions about health.
Brilliant. Too long, but brilliant.
It was too long. That was over 20 minutes, 20 seconds. It's actually closer to 20 minutes. That's the problem.
Okay, well, we'll work on that for next time. And it's always a work in progress. So please come with your textbooks and your notes